Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. I'm Naomi, the Brickanista, based here in Seattle, and I'm here with my buddy Remy. I got the direction right. There he is. Yes. Remy, also known as Brick Literacy, out of Virginia. And we are back for another review or recap episode. And we're going to be reviewing Season 3 LEGO Masters Episode 7. So very excited about this. This is the Click and Brick, right? The Click and Brick campsite.
Camp Click a Brick.
Camp Click a Brick.
Yes.
Well, I tell you, I had so much fun watching this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it yet, spoilers ahead. And I would be, if you haven't seen it, you don't want to miss this episode. I think you should just pause the tape, come back, watch the episode, because it was great. It was just really good, I guess, twists and turns.
Yeah, they were really at capacity for the amount of twists you can put into one episode.
Right.
It was at least 3.
I agree, Glenn. Fun episode. Definitely fun. And welcome to the stream. And we are so fortunate because we wanted to thank Endemol Shine and Fox as well for giving us the visuals that we're using for this show, but they've also given us some incredible access to some of the contestants. So, we've already interviewed the Grandpappies, we've interviewed Tacos and Michelle, and we've also interviewed Aaron and Liz. And we are super, super excited because we have another set of contestants here who don't spend as much time here on YouTube, but they're coming over. And we're really excited to have these two guys joining us. And first, let me welcome Ethan the Artisan, also known as Ethan Dungan.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream again. I know you've been on our show before. And
thank you for inviting me.
Great to have you back. And of course, the other person who's part of your team, who's also awesome. We have cool guy Dom O2.
How's it going, dudes?
Also known as Dom Fort. So welcome to the stream. So happy to have you here. And Debo Bricks, one of our regulars. Welcome, Debo. More twist than a length of rope.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this was such a fun episode. But before we get started on the episode, just I know that we had a chance to interview you with the Endemol Shine group, and you talked a little bit about how you came together as a team. So if you could share that with our audience a little bit about how you found out about it.
So last November, a year from now, actually, I was contacted by a casting agent. And at first I didn't think it was real, so I left it alone for a few days, and I looked back at it. I looked at his account, I was like, oh, this guy seems legit. So I asked him a few questions. He asked me questions, and I started the process. And he was like, well, who do you want as a teammate? And I was like, that's a great question. So instantly what came to mind was Ethan. We're both TikTokers, around the same age. We're both homeschooled. At that point, I knew Ethan for around a year, just from TikTok and talking back and forth briefly and stuff.
Right.
And the rest is history from that point. I mean, we just kept going further in the rounds of the interview process to get on the show, and then surprise, we were.
But in your case, they approached you, right?
Yes.
They found you, and they said, hey, do you have a partner, versus people who have sent in their applications and said, hey, I'm either applying alone or we're applying as a team. Okay.
Now, for season 2, if my memory serves me correctly, they asked Ethan to come on.
This was actually previous 2 years,
Previous 2 years, but he wasn't of age yet.
Oh, okay. Interesting, because that's very similar to what happened with Liam. Because Liam applied, and he was 16, and the way he phrased it in Seattle is he said they completely ghosted him. And so he thought, nothing would come out of it. And then they reached back out to him 2 years later because they said, oh, are you 18 now? Because you can be on the show.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that, Ethan, as far as you applied 2 years ago, right, for season 1 or season?
Well, actually, they reached out to me, and I've never heard of Lego Masters. That was the first season, so I was like, I don't really know what it is. I was 16, 15 at the time. And I was like, oh, I don't know what this is. I'll just ignore it. Then season 2 that season came out. I was like, oh, that was real. So season 2 came around, and they, reached out, and I replied, but I was like, I don't know if I'm old enough, and I didn't hear anything from that.
They are very good at ghosting people, aren't they?
Yeah. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
you can't do it? Nah, we're not gonna waste any time. We're not even gonna bother with a response to that.
Yeah, well, they do have 12,000 or so applications to go through. So I guess getting back to 12,000 people is kind of tough. So looks like you have some fans here. Virtual hugs from Mystique Aura. This emote has a Wi-Fi signal. It amuses me.
Well, it's it has a Wi-Fi signal and a cat, so that amuses me. So.
And Shock the Toast is here. Hey Nathan, how's it going? Good to have you here. So now that you're a team, and now that you're on television, and you're going through all these episodes, how would you say that this has been for, I guess, your presence in the Lego world? Did you notice it overnight that there was this massive change, especially because they made you wait until the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
So how's that been for you?
I haven't noticed a huge difference. I'm sure at Lego conventions they'll be like, I won't just be the funny goofy guy making Lego TikToks. I'll be that guy that just so happened to also be on Lego Masters, somehow. So yeah, I haven't noticed it quite yet. I'm sure Ethan has a different story.
I've noticed that it's more like, there's a quite a wide range of, like, with the analytics through TikTok, like the demographic. I believe it's like 38% of my followers are from the United States. So there are some people that notice, and it definitely has changed my account a little bit.
Well, you already have 1 million or so, or several million now.
1.3.
1.3.
1.3.
That's awesome.
He deserves it. He's earned it.
So Remy, you have any comments you'd like to share too?
No, just do you guys get recognized at the Lego store yet, or?
I have a funny story.
Even the artisan a little, but.
I recently went. So the season was filmed quite a while ago. My hair a lot longer now. And I recently went to the Lego store. Nothing. And I even asked when I was getting rung out, do you guys watch Lego Masters? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh, well, I'm on it. So there's that. And they're like, that's so cool. Congratulations. So I was like, yeah, thanks. Thanks for my receipt. Bye. So
that's almost like you want a t-shirt that says, yes, I was on Lego Masters.
I kind of want that. I'm sure if I was wearing a flannel, which of course we don't wear on the shows. They have us wear these fantastic, very fashionable
we'll get to the clothing assignments that were given to you, because I know that's near and dear to your heart, Dom.
Yeah, right.
A couple videos of you, but we'll get to that in a second.
But I get recognized at work quite a bit. I work for a resale Lego store, which I'm now publicly saying that for the first time because I'm getting recognized quite a bit there. So, but I'll have people ask me like, "You were gone for like a month and a half or so," and like that explains so much. I'm like, yeah, I was on Lego Masters, but I had to keep it hush hush. But yeah, it was great. It was really cool. But yeah, not too much. It hasn't really affected my life too much yet.
I haven't been outside much.
Yeah, he doesn't go outside. He builds and make TikToks.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you have a couple more fans here. So
Rob the Builder.
Like
Hi, Rob.
The Builder, Ethan and Dom, such big, huge fan. Hope to meet you someday. We haven't met them yet either, not in person. Right?
He's actually moving to Texas soon.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, really?
Remy's going to be there too.
Epic Gaming. Which one? There's two of us. Just
Are you talking? No.
Are you also Ginger?
No.
I was going to say one of our followers, when we were first doing the review shows, this was before episode 3, and she wrote in the chat, "When are the gingers arriving?" or "Have the gingers shown up yet?" I'm like, what are you talking about? Gingers?
Yeah.
I mean, who's a ginger on the
know.
show? So there are several people who refer to you as the gingers.
Fair enough.
Both of you. I think,
fair.
Dom, your hair is more brown though, right? Or is
It's
it?
a weird auburn color. It depends. Like when it gets hotter, when it gets close to the summer, it'll get more
Mhm.
red. But now
You
that's
should
like
embrace it. You
I
guys,
try.
you should
Get
be.
a
I'm
hair
fine
lamp.
with it.
Like if you get a light right above,
Get a
Yeah.
light right above
It'll
it.
be
Maybe go close to the
perfect.
light. I don't know, but yeah, it's definitely more like an auburn brown.
It's caveman.
Yeah, and Glenn met you, Ethan, at Brick Rodeo. So Glenn's one of my
Oh,
followers,
that's awesome.
and
Brick
he
Rodeo.
didn't know you were on the show at the time, unlike Liz. And Liz has shared with us when we interviewed her that she said, yeah, people would come up and say, oh, how do you know these TikTok guys? It's like, oh, they're just hanging around and they're photobombing me all the time. You know?
What's funny about Liz was Liz came down to Brick Rodeo. This was June, July. I forget what month it was. But
Yeah.
there was a Lego Master challenge that me and Liz did, and we won. And I was like, Liz was on, announced on the show, and yes, I'm
Yep.
a Lego fan.
I'm just a TikToker.
You're just hang along. Yeah.
So I was at Brick World Chicago. I was hanging out with a lot of Lego Masters castmates from season 3 and from season 2. And when anyone like asks, I would just say, "I'm just a Lego TikToker." That's how I know these people. Just from Lego, nothing
Right.
else. No correlation, which I don't think worked. I think people were catching on fairly quickly.
Well, I think you made a couple posts too, either on your Instagram or your
Yeah, we
TikTok
photo.
account. It's like
bombed.
they have no clue.
They have no clue. I think I did I remember doing something in like a live. Like I was like, you guys have no idea what's coming up.
Right.
You guys aren't ready for it.
And speaking of no idea of what's coming, is that this episode particularly, there were so many twists and
twists.
just the reactions on your faces.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably went through your own roller coaster ride, right? With the emotions, especially in that first hour.
Oh yeah. Builder's block. That's what it was for it was an hour and like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Until we found that, until the moment I was just like, Monster Camp. That light bulb just instantly ding. So it was a tough hour, but it was worth it. It was worth it in the end.
Oh yeah.
With that, that part of the, of Monster, I guess that episode, that was straight after the pirate ship episode. Like that, it came to we finished that episode, and about 6 o'clock, we had 3 hours of build time. And I remember by the end of those 3 hours, you had to have a name for your camp. So we were like, we'll spend those 3 hours coming up with a solid plan, and getting at least a little bit done.
A little bit done, yeah. It was tough. And back to like last episode, it doesn't get shown, but there was a whole plot point where we with our idea and our story, we were struggling with that. So we were coming off the anxiety because I honestly really thought that pirate episode was our last. I thought we were gonna get bottom 2, and I thought we were gonna get sent home because our story, the judges really did not like our story. Which they seemed to lighten up on it once the build was done. But throughout that entire build, they kept ragging on us and where's your story? Where are the elements? It doesn't connect well. I was like, we're getting it.
The monkeys have to be minifigure scale. Well, look at Nick and Stacy's monkeys.
They are. You got a great point there. Is that they weren't very consistent in their evaluations.
A lot gets cut. That
yeah,
and also
you mentioned, I think, was it Ethan that mentioned? Well, our monkeys are brown. At least they're authentic, right?
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad that the Battle of the Monkey Ships didn't end up, where you were flotsam and jetsam in the end. So it really
the monkeys were in the middle.
To the next one.
The monkeys were in the middle.
Right. And speaking of episodes, is this a good time, Remy, for us to start?
Yeah, if you want to get right into it, we can.
Okay. Well, I'm just also want to be mindful of our time. We usually go for about an hour to an hour and a half, roughly, and we're going to go through all the builds. And then talk a little bit about your builds too. And these are courtesy of Fox. Thank you, Fox.
Yeah, so this is Camp Click-a-Brick. And all these sections were the same. Was that correct? Or did they tell you not to take certain sections?
So yeah, we were told that we couldn't take the sections that were there. So like what's still left, we weren't allowed to like pick those. We had to do every other one was an option that was available, which is interesting.
Okay. Well, they're all basically the same. Yeah.
There are some that were a little different, but for the most part, I believe everyone kind of just took all the trees and stuff, because some had more trees, some had less trees, and everyone kind of just set those aside and kind of kept the trees for later, and kind of just build. It was kind of a clean sweep. Let's build.
That's cool. Yeah, this shot, I just for viewers at home that might be interested, this is 100 by 100 studs. So about like maybe a third to, I don't know, 2/5. I don't know fractions, but it was smaller than the Jurassic Park challenge by a large amount. So I thought that was cool. But yeah, and also this episode, halfway through, Will brings out 2 boxes and said, "Hey, there's bonus prizes now."
Which is very cool.
Yeah,
he
so
called them care packages.
Yeah,
because going back with the Click a Brick, theme, and I love this shot because of what the dry ice they put in there.
I think I remember that some guy came over, put some ice in there, and then cut back.
Oh, okay. Okay, see, this is good that we get some inside info about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was brave for just handling it raw there with no gloves.
Yeah. There's a power with editing.
There's also I was hoping it would make it in, but as Will says, "Stop the clock," I was trying to secretly keep building, and then Will shouts, "Dom, stop building," and I go, I'm sorry." So yeah, I got yelled at by Will Arnett, but it didn't make it in the episode. I thought it would.
You might be able to get that clip.
I would love that clip.
Ask Fox if they'll send you that clip.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, anyway, in one of the boxes, of course, was the golden brick, and in the other box was a coupon for 90,000 bricks, basically. And so the winner would get their choice randomly and would have to give one away, which I think is a great twist. But we will come back to that later. Because right now, here's the Camp Click a Brick all put together here.
Beautiful.
And yeah, this is really cool. It really reminds me of the very first episode when they did the theme park challenge.
Yeah, it does. That's cool.
But the animation, OMG, that must have been so much fun for you to watch.
Yeah.
The fact that they animated our builds. I love that so much. But it makes sense. We had a lot going on, and it like out of all the builds, I think ours made the most sense to animate our build. Because of how
they did a pass of all the builds, and then they animated a few. So they really went all out in this episode, which was cool.
It's nice. I mean, it's unfortunate, but also nice that as we have fewer teams, they can spend more time on your builds and more detail. I think this was the first episode where they actually showed the substructure of Brendan and Greg's. No, that was the ship build, right?
Yeah, I think it was.
Where they that back. The ship build is where they did that. But still, I mean, it's nice that you can spend more time on just each individual build on its own.
So yeah, we'll start off with Steven and Steven. This is the superhero initiate training camp.
Before you get there, there was a question in the chat about Glenn wants to know, what does the 90,000 bricks what did it actually meant?
We don't know. We don't know.
90 years of Lego.
Yeah, 90 years of Lego.
90 years of Lego, and they added 3 zeros to it.
Yep. And then Depot Bricks asks if the 90K bricks or each, or do we have to split it? We are splitting the bricks.
Yep.
45K, 45K.
Yeah, it was also pretty vague. They just said, and I mean, we can talk about it later, but they just said, you win 90,000 bricks.
Pretty much.
That could mean anything.
Yeah.
I was expecting them to back up a dump truck and just open it.
That would have been great. I would have loved to have seen that. Okay, so sorry. Yes. So back to the SIT camp.
Yes.
Yep. SIT. Sit.
Oh, and
I'm so
was-
happy. I'm so glad they left that bit in.
Yes.
yeah.
I didn't think that it would make it,
Yeah.
but it did. And
Mhm.
I'm very happy.
So many bleeps.
So many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
this was no, go ahead. Go ahead.
when that ukulele was smashed, it was loud. It was like
It was very loud.
What just we were, the total opposite side, and it spooked us. I was like, what just happened?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We look over and there's a broken ukulele. I'm like, damn. I
Yeah.
love ukuleles.
Will went, gave them a Viking funeral basically by going full Hendrix with that ukulele.
Yeah, not the
you know
Reddest
what?
Brown, exactly.
A little side story though, in that Yo-Yo, the one on the left. So they're both named Steven, but they also go by Yo-Yo and Crash. But Yo-Yo mentioned on Nick's stream yesterday that he saved a couple pieces of that ukulele to give to Aaron and Liz.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the problem is he put the pieces on the design table, and when they go to clean up, apparently they cleaned it up and they took them away. So he wasn't actually able to do that. But that's so sweet that you guys think about each other like that.
I mean, the relationship, that's the best part about the show, is the relationships that we make with everyone. I mean, it's priceless.
Yeah, we know that, the show keeps trying to tell us, oh, they're villains, they're new guys. Don't you want to fight? And we're like, no, we get it. Like, we know everybody got along. Like,
now I have a fun story of we can talk about later of when we get introduced and the reactions to the rest of the contestants seeing us. But we'll get into that later.
Okay.
Yeah, the T-shirt.
And
apparently Glenn thinks Will needs anger management.
A little bit, just a little bit.
He made a huge mistake. But yeah, anyway, here's Steven and Steven's superhero initiate training camp.
The sit camp.
Sit.
This is a really cool build. Like, I mean, who wouldn't want to go to this camp? I mean,
we actually when I first heard about the challenge, my first initial idea was superhero camp. But very quickly, Crash blurts out dibs on superhero camp. And I was like, no, dang it. I was like, damn, makes sense.
Well, did you consider building a villain camp and going head to head?
We actually did, but it was like that. No, that's too much.
We had an hour of just exchanging ideas, and we thought of so much, but Monster Camp was we got us to the same page.
Yeah,
you could see the light bulb go off in both of your faces too, and you're just like, that's it. We've got it. And that's nice too, because then in a way it was better that you spent that hour at the very beginning instead of several teams who had to pivot midstream, because once you had it, then you could just go full force into it.
But here's this is from the animation where they're using the powers here. Training with the powers.
Now, one thing they didn't mention in the footage is that there was a mechanism that inside that wall that would light up those translucent pieces with light bricks, and inside the mechanism would make a loud flick noise.
Really?
And it added noise to the build, which Jamie pointed out, because it's like the elements are hitting the wall.
Yeah.
But they didn't leave it in, which I thought was weird. But I did want to mention that there was like noise within that little build.
That was really also cool. In season 1 with the half challenge with the clock that was made by Flynn and Richard, that they actually built it so that there were pieces that would deliberately hit the side so that you would hit that clock ticking sound.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually when there's a noise, there's something wrong internally, but I'm glad that they were able to make that work there.
It was deliberate. It wasn't
deliberate. It was on purpose.
Misfire, yeah.
No, that's awesome. So yeah, there's the logo, and here's just some people flying around. And I like that they still maintained like the log cabin kind of motif for the buildings. And this is also something I'm curious about because they didn't talk about like this at all. There's like some dogs and some cats, and you happen to know like what's going on over here?
So they're both firefighters, and every build they have Easter eggs to a Dalmatian, and they always have something that's related to Dalmatians in their builds, which is really cool.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
and that's
fun.
a firefighter on the right, right?
Okay.
It's fun to have like little Easter eggs in your builds, but a lot of times those end up getting cut.
Yeah, and I just like the cat in the tree over here. I thought that was funny.
And then the T must be for Taturna, for Lornet spelled backwards.
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah, here we have the speedsters with their
I love how they
trails.
did the speed trails. I think that was so cool.
Classic speed trails. And there he is. There's Taturna. Do you know where this jacket is from? Like this torso piece?
Lego City.
Lego City.
Most of the minifigure parts were from Lego City. Hey Dom, didn't you find like a 1999 Luke Skywalker head?
I did. Oh, wow. And it's in our build, and we weren't supposed to build anything like related to like movies or anything, but there may or may not be a kid with blonde hair with a Luke Skywalker face and a black torso with not a green lightsaber. It looks like a green lightsaber, but it's not. I swear.
Yeah, we'll have to find it.
Well, that's a great Easter egg for yours.
Yeah. But yeah, here's the superhero training camp. It's every power you could want.
Yeah, this one's really cool, really solid build.
Okay, so now we're moving on to Austin and Justin, Camp Go with the Flow. And here they are. It looks like they're putting the final touches on it.
And this goes back to, if you really want to impress Amy, you've got to bring the color. And that's her first comment to them, right? When she sees this big gray mountain. It's like, this is a competition. And he goes, don't worry, we've got color coming. Yeah. But
this build is
amazing.
Is great. I love this one.
I love it too.
I love the sign, because you can't go in there and say that you didn't know what to expect. They will lava you.
We lava you.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very cool. Or should I say very, very hot?
It's a great build.
So yeah, here it is animated. And the surfing motion was really fun. The surfboards would kind of come out and retract, and
I think this was Austin's redemption episode, because he was really upset when he couldn't get the dog movement to go for the dog episode. And for him, I think he goes, I'm going to really get this motion set, because it was a motion challenge in addition to the aesthetics, right?
You had to have 2 forms of power functions.
Soccer ball. Yeah, this like the tug of war over the lava is
genius.
Just a great.
That is genius. Yeah,
incredibly dangerous. Should not be allowed at any camp. But you know what? The stakes are high. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
such a simple motion and just so good.
And they color coded too. The 2 teams.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yes, and these are all clearly children. They have the short legs. So.
Short legs. Yeah.
What I was saying was, if you've seen Spy Kids, I think it's the 3D one. Doesn't someone fall in like lava, but ends up not being lava? It's like just liquid that's orange. This is that type of camp. The lava is fake. It's like if you
it's real lava.
Yeah, if the lava is fake, I think you get your money back. I think that,
Isn't there though?
Be angry.
There's a game, right, where you jump from chair to chair and you pretend like the floor, is lava.
Yep, that's the game. The floor is lava.
Yeah, that's on Netflix.
Touch the ground.
Yeah, so I guess do they have a medic camp like they did on the superhero camp, where they have a big tent for all the injuries?
I'm not sure if they do. I think this is
they had some buildings back here.
I think it's one of those camps
the best
where if you
kind
get
of
hurt, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just
It's
threw
fine.
you
You
in
signed the
the
waiver.
volcano.
He
Yeah,
signed
you signed
the
the waiver.
Sign the waiver. It's fine.
And
These
Shock the
kids are
Toast
like
had a
mining a
comment
mountain.
about
Maybe there's
your,
written in the little thing goes, bring your own Neosporin and band-aids. That's probably like
Mhm.
you have to bring.
Aloe vera cream,
That's right.
ice
Aloe vera
pack,
necessity.
Mhm.
That's
lots
funny.
of sunscreen.
Camp burn unit.
Can't
Yeah.
burn unit.
But with
Yeah.
all that said, this is like fantastic build. Like
It's
this
a great
is
build.
Yes.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, it
This
had
is
the
really
camp
cool.
theme to it. Even the little subtlety of the walking trails between the cabins too. Yeah, that is
Mhm.
really amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if this was supposed to be a swimming pool. This was the closest shot I got of it. But if it was, great job.
Hmm.
Um,
I would have been fun if they also had people roasting marshmallows all around the camp. Right? You don't need like a campfire. You just go anywhere in the camp and you can roast a marshmallow.
Yeah.
well, let's see. This one is like, I like that this one is overdone here.
Yeah, I think they burnt it. A
It's
little
like
burnt.
way too burnt.
that's relatable.
It's too far.
Some people like it that way, where they deliberately set it on fire
the
and then they
crust.
My
peel it
mom
off
does that.
and it's all
My
gooey on
mom
the
does
inside.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, great job, Austin and Justin. And now we'll move on to Dragon Camp. And this
There's a
was
lot of
Emily and Liam.
Star Wars geek chat going on in the
There
chat.
is.
I'm not sure, Glenn, about the laser sword. Is that what
Yeah.
the Mandalorian called it while talking to Ahsoka?
Yeah, I don't know.
What are your laser
Darn, I
swords?
guess I'll have to go back and watch it. Darn. Anyway, this is Emily and Liam, and their build was really cool. And this motion was working. It seemed like it was working for most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
except at the very end.
Mhm, that's correct. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Well,
And
they
they
had
had-
the same problem for the first episode. Remember when they turned it sideways,
Mhm.
the spaceship? And
Mhm.
so it was working on the table, and then when they mounted it on the space station, then it wasn't working. So
Mhm.
they kind of have a history of failed motors.
but this had, the dragons would go around, and then the heads would also move up and down. So this was a pretty
That was
complex.
amazing.
Yeah, extremely
Those are really
advanced.
cool. Very,
And I
very
love-
impressive when it works.
How the dragons, the tail is wrapped around the rock
Mhm.
too.
Mhm.
Oh,
Just
beautiful.
a beautiful build.
Yeah.
And one thing that I believe there are a lot of baby dragons inside like the crevices of the rocks,
Oh,
which I
really?
thought was really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, like there's
like the
there's
elven
one-
baby dragons.
Mhm.
Did they have
No,
those?
It's
Mini-
No, like brick built
brick-built.
Oh,
dragons.
oh,
like
okay.
this one's here,
Oh, cute!
and like there's
I
one.
think that's another one. Yeah. Just all sorts of
here's
fun little
another one
dragons.
here.
Wow.
There's some on the ground too. Like
Mhm.
there's one hanging out, kind of poking its head out from under the rocks. And this is like supposed to be a stable.
Like a little
I
petting
guess,
zoo.
Hmm.
Yeah, a little petting zoo. Not sure why somebody's phone is in there. I just noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Huh.
It's like, wait a minute.
Oops.
Anyway, yeah, here's some more young dragon action.
Oh, that's a very cute build.
Yeah.
I actually have some micro dragons too, or not really micro dragons. They're micro dinosaurs. I made a mini micro scale Jurassic Park.
That's
So I had to come up with like little baby dinosaurs.
Yeah, and there's one over here in the
The
garden.
petting zoo is adorable. And is that one learning how to breathe fire? Or it just breathes fire?
I think it's to roast their marshmallows.
Yeah, this is
Oh.
like a two-headed dragon, and it would like the motion would like go down to where they were holding the marshmallows, and then like go back up.
I wish they would have spent more time on that on the show.
Mhm.
Oh, Shock the Toast has the answer here. You don't use dragons to charge my phone.
You know
I
what?
have not.
Yeah. Haven't
Maybe
tried
we
that
have
one.
to consider that now. I'm gonna try that.
I've tried like the charging pads where you plug
Mm-hmm.
the pad in and you just rest your phone on it. But
Yeah.
Dragon, that's like the third option. You got cable,
Yeah,
the pad, and then
true.
Dragon.
This is gonna
The
open up.
problem
a
is you
whole
got
new
to
world.
feed the dragons. You know, you don't have to
Dragon,
feed the other
that's
things.
Dragon.
You got to have.
But
your
then you have a
dragon
dragon, so-
handy.
Yeah. And then there's also this water dragon back here.
That's I like that.
Mhm.
I like that one a lot too.
They showed it
That's
from like the
very
reverse angle at first, so I thought maybe it was like a dragon skeleton. I was like, wait a minute, but no, it's an actual water dragon. So
That is cool.
yeah. All right, Shock the Toast, calm down over there.
Nathan, you're killing me.
Yeah,
A wyvern
calm down.
charging or wireless charging. You'll
I
So
see.
yeah, this
I
No,
love
I'm
like,
just gonna say our chat can be kind of cheeky. That expect a lot of puns too.
I mean, that's
Fair
the
enough.
best chats. I mean,
Yeah.
That's the best chat.
um,
Way better, way more behaved than my chat. I'll just say that right
yeah.
now.
but yeah, this is they eventually got it working. It went backwards. It's fine. They just played the tape backwards. It was all
I thought that was
good.
pretty funny.
But the look on their faces, you could tell
It was
they were sweating. They were just like, no, it was working fine before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which I
But
think
anyway,
is just a huge shame. Like if you have something that's working before, it's simple as just like
Mhm.
restarting the app or turning the hub off and on, and that's just something that we don't get a chance to do if that happens during
I
judging.
believe every team had 2 minutes to set up their
2
mod.
minutes to set up their
Okay.
mod. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
And then
It's-
we'll talk more about your incident for the dog show too, where you had
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Understandable. We'll talk about that a little bit.
We'll talk
Okay.
about that later.
yeah, again. But anyway, great job, Emily and Liam.
Yeah, fantastic.
Now we have a little thing called Monster Camp.
Monster Camp. Let's go.
Can you say it together like you did on the show?
Okay. On go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Monster Camp.
It's fine.
We're a
We'll
little rusty.
we'll
Yeah,
edit
we're a
it so
little
that you say it at the same time.
There we go.
No problem.
If not, we can give you redemption at the end of the show.
But what is Ethan? What is Will accusing you of here?
I have no clue.
What's happening?
I have no. He's probably doing that song thing, and I'm like, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
He's
think
pointing
that
to
might
you
have
to do
been-
the next verse.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
And you're like,
never heard that in my life. I was like, what?
Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, here's Monster Camp. And
Beautiful
you
Monster
guys, you got the one animation. This was like
We did.
one of the best
Mhm.
shots in that animated pass here.
It was so just I'm so happy with how it turned out, and it's just I love it.
But you also got, I think, the only animation at night that we've seen, and I wish they would do this
yeah.
more often,
That's true.
because usually the light like washes out everything,
Hmm
Mhm.
and it just looks so much cooler at night.
It does. It's just I love it so much. It's awesome.
It's an amazing build.
Thank
Just
you.
even from the entrance, right? You walk through the mouth of the
Mhm.
monster just to get to camp.
Mhm.
Yeah. So one thing I was curious about, they did this for the animation. This is opened here.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like they made some modifications to the animations to make it more lifelike, which is cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, essentially everything is like a monster.
A monster. I wish we had more pictures of like the monster house, because that was really fun to.
There was a lot of unique Easter eggs and stuff there.
Mhm. Was this supposed to be like a haunted house or like a
Kinda like a haunted monster house.
Mhm.
It was the main headquarter cabin for the counselors and all that jazz.
Mhm.
So
And we even had like a letter room. I remember I forget, but
yeah, there was a letter room, and there was like a monster inside eating letters, because when you're at camp, you get letters from mom and dad, and you send it back out. But
Oh, that would have been fun to have seen that.
They didn't show any of the inside of the monster house.
it is what
Yeah.
it is. There's always so
Well,
much
you had
fun.
so many great details everywhere. So I guess
Mhm.
they had to pick some of the other items.
No, let's see. Well, yeah, here we can see it's closed during the daytime, but that's okay. And here's our tentacles.
Tentacles.
This was
I like
one of my favorite things of your build.
Thank you.
Was just
Thank
the
you,
way
yeah.
you had it moving around. And doesn't this remind me of some sea creature in Seattle, Remy?
I
Called
don't know what you're talking about.
A kraken?
The Kraken.
A Kraken.
The Kraken.
Kraken.
Okay, Tom, you're just pulling my chain now.
One thing I like to mention with the targets, that yellow target is in reference to our monkeys. So it's built very similar style to our monkeys.
Oh, it's a monkey face.
It's
Look
the
at
same
that.
arms and everything.
And then
so the same pieces for the legs and whatnot.
Yeah. And then the
the
next
one on the left, is that the tree?
Nah, this is the green monster I made.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What's happening with this guy over here?
Oh, he's just a little homesick.
Okay.
He's really homesick.
Yeah, Shock the Toast mentions I really like the use of the tires to hide some of the ball joints for the tentacles.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. I also like these small leaves, just kind of interconnected.
I like leaf weaving.
Leaf weaving.
Yeah.
We actually we didn't know we could leaf weave early on in the competition. We asked the rule people that can we leaf weave, and they were like, no, because it can damage the bricks. And then in this challenge, some of the trees that were already on the platforms were leaf weave. So we assumed, well, if they're gonna do it, we're gonna do it. So then we did it, and we made a bunch of bushes, and it was great.
No, that's awesome. And it's not something that they would like disqualify your build if you had illegal.
Nah, it was more so just like frowned upon because the parts do get reused because there's only so many pieces.
I would say my specialty is illegal building techniques. I wish big tires. I love.
Oh my gosh.
Doing
you have
tires.
opened my eyes to that technique. I want to go into my whole drawer of tires now and start seeing which ones I can put inside out. And part of that too is that everybody has a drawer of tires and you just don't know what else to do with them, right? So yeah, I really appreciate you've done that.
Okay, now we have the monster snack bar.
Leaf weaving should only be done by trained professionals.
These guys are pros, guys.
Facts. You can really mess up your pieces if you don't do it right.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like our little cafeteria snack bar. There's a few monsters eating some pizza. The guy with the brown hair, he's actually also throwing up in a trash can. We had a theme. But yeah, Ethan built that. Did a great job.
I was really happy with how the roof.
The roof looks amazing.
It's fun.
A fur from a big monster that they've killed.
Right.
Yeah. So this is we got a shot of the roof here. It looks kind of like a waffle.
That's what I was.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's cool. When you first said monster camp, I thought that it would be like kids learning how to be monsters, but it's like a monster
monster hunters. Okay. And if it weren't for leaf weaving, we wouldn't have baskets. I wanted to point that out.
True. That's the great thing to point out.
Okay.
There was an element in this we did have a story which isn't. You can kind of see it by the pool. There's a little cage with a red monster. The whole reason why there's the big red monster is that's the mama monster, the Karen. And the monster hunters captured her baby. So she's in monster camp to get her baby back. But they never, we said the story, but they cut it. So, which is it's fine.
Well, now I'm a little sad. So I guess that's why
there was emotion. They also did point out, in the pool, you can kind of see there's 2 red slots, and those are supposed to be eyes. And underneath, there are light bricks that would glow as if there was pulsating eyes. But that also did not get cut. And then there's also a kid peeing in the pool. It actually, it's lemonade. He has a cup. He spilled his cup of lemonade.
Yeah,
I was going to ask if you made some of the tiles around him.
And I did. I rebuilt it yellow and stuff, which I thought was fun. And
they cut out all the stuff that makes us likable.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the fun stuff, all our little Easter eggs. They just
Yeah, they don't want you to come across as too snarky or sarcastic.
I believe even the fire has light bricks in it as well, which is really cool. I made we made a little thing with like 4 light bricks are on each side, and it can just slide in there. It turns them on all on. Which is really
so
cool.
how many light bricks are available to you? Because I imagine with all the teams,
there's a good bit.
Wow.
And most of them are brand new. Like they still have the pull tabs in them, so that was nice.
Oh wow!
Oh, yeah,
that's great.
Where is Luke in this build? Or
I'm trying to see. Can you mind zooming in close to the fireplace? I think he was by the fireplace.
Okay. Let's see. I can maybe get a better look at here's the fireplace. Is it this guy?
No, he had I think I gave him a black cape and everything. As if he was like Return of the Jedi Luke.
I think, hang on.
Go to the image before.
I thought I saw somebody with a cape over here.
It's gonna be towards like the red monster, the big mama monster.
Mm-hmm.
There's the cabins, some more.
And while you're searching,
foliage.
Evo would like to know: is there any piece that you wish they had?
There he is.
There he is.
That's him.
But
yeah, it's not a lightsaber. It's like a light dagger.
No, that's totally not a lightsaber.
Totally not a lightsaber.
It's not a lightsaber.
Not a lightsaber.
But that hairpiece is perfect.
Yeah.
I do like that question.
That
2 parts that I wish we had big tires so I could put inside out. Because I love using tires.
That's your thing, yeah.
That would have really helped. And also rubber bands. I love using Lego rubber bands.
Oh
as well.
yeah.
I would I'd say 1x1 brackets.
Oh,
I think they had inverted 1x1 brackets, but there was no actual 1x1 brackets.
Not the
and then the 1x bracket, but with 2 studs on the one side in either formation. That would have been great, but they didn't have that. And then definitely more like these curvy slopes. More of these curvy slopes. And
oh yeah, I love this slope.
The inverted curvy slopes with the
1x2
with the studs.
Yeah.
With the studs. Those would have been really nice.
Yeah.
To smooth things off because
and regular.
I like smooth builds.
Yeah.
We were told
I'm the same way. I hate like no studs anywhere on my builds. That's what I like.
But the thing is, if they several people said they don't have many of those, and some of them were limited to certain colors too.
Yep. It was odd. It was odd. The brick pit feels like 4 years outdated. So
oh wow.
So everyone was hoping that it'd get updated with it being season 3, but that's probably a season 4 thing. It's probably a season 4 thing that we missed the cusp on. Oh well.
Well, yeah, hopefully.
Oh, that and you know what I really liked is either or. I don't think they had these hinges. These hinges. With
the click hinges,
the
ones with the wrenches
with the holes in them. Oh, I don't think they had these.
Yeah, that would have been nice. I believe they had ball joints. Like they had ball joints.
They had a lot of mixel joints, but other than that, yeah, no.
That's cool.
Glenn, did I ever say that as a quote? He says I said no studs ever. I do remember I had a comment about the Santa Claus brickhead, that they didn't have the time to cover up some of the studs, and so I took some out of my dots container. I said, "Come on, Santa deserves more than this, right?"
It's Santa.
Yeah.
I guess I have a quote
but anyway,
now.
yeah. Anything else? Final thoughts on this build? It was really cool.
I'm really proud of it, and I hope to recreate it one day and bring it to Contestants because this is my baby. This is Monster Camp is my baby, and definitely I really want to recreate the Mama Monster, but with more time because I just threw that together.
Is this the Mama Monster here?
That's the baby. That's the baby.
Okay.
And then the big monster in the back is the Karen. But
one thing that's funny about the front sign was that first day. They were like, "This looks a lot like the Cookie Monster. We're gonna have to see if you have to change it or not."
Change it. It didn't. Wait, didn't you put red polka dots on it?
No. They were able to like that next day. They said it's fine, you can keep it. But my backup plan was to put lime green patches.
I remember that.
But luckily, I was able to do it.
Wow, they actually told you that because of the Cookie Monster.
I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, blue monster, red eyes.
Blue. Great color, stands out.
Well, that's the supervisors were saying, they don't want to infringe on any copyrights and intellectual property. So they probably said, okay, it's lit. Okay, you're fine. Wow.
If anything, it's more of a Grover than a Cookie Monster. But,
yeah, I can see Grover. But I think that's it for Monster Camp.
Good job, guys. Okay. I guess we'll move on to Cloud Camp now. This is Nick and Stacy's Cloud Camp. You can see they're working on this this double like
saucer.
Yeah, this crazy mechanism here. That's
I remember.
That's the turning shamrock, right? That's gonna happen later.
Cloud Camp, gonna say, very interesting camp.
This was also one of those that was like, all right, you want us to take it far? We're gonna take it,
a little
to the moon,
too far,
literally
to the moon, because there's a moon and stars. But I think it's a great looking build, and I can totally understand where they were going with it. And then the judges reeled back on, needs more camp vibes,
right?
But,
I think this is where Greg and Nick both kind of went together and talked about this on the frickin' Nick show.
They did.
They tell us to go 10 times more fantastical, and then they say, "Where are the camp elements?" Yeah.
The brief was very it was very broad at first, and but everyone, it's all about what are your understanding of the brief, and ask 10 different 10 or however many teams there were, everyone has a different understanding of the brief, so different.
And that's why Patrick from the Grandpappies was saying, what they should do is they should just put a card right next to everybody's build saying what the parameters are.
Yes,
I also
agree.
And he
bullet
said
points
on our
really
show,
help.
Could you just say that again for me, please? They would just say it once, and then you have to remember it, and you aren't really allowed to have notes and what have you. You just have to listen very closely and then kind of execute from there.
But that build was, it's a great looking build.
It's a really cool build, and the mechanism in the center is just amazing. It's just the way Nick pulled it off. Big brain.
He also, put down a lot of blue. Did they give you guys a hammer and like a brick separator or not?
We had we had mallets and brick separators on deck at all times.
I don't remember if I've seen any hammering.
They didn't have any hammering in the show, but I'm sure people were using it.
Oh yeah.
I would say we mostly used it with the ship challenge. Did we use it for the ship challenge? Like doing the sides?
I think so. Just to get the bricks down, and then I think I want to say we even used it in the dog one.
Yeah,
just to secure everything. What else did we also?
Those are the two things that stand out.
That I remember. I know there was one. What was it? One challenge. I don't remember whose build, but they hammered for like an hour straight, just hammering down plates or something. And it might have been this one, honestly, because I think Stacy put down most of those
the blue,
plates,
the azure.
That blue. So she was just hammering away.
Cool.
What would have been cool, since this is Cloud Camp, is if they would have raised it above the other camps.
Yeah, if they went a little bit higher. That would have been really
That would have been nice.
Well, they have this frog here. Frogs are frog. Yeah, and there's a zip line, and there's some camp stuff here. It was really hard to capture kind of the motion, but the shamrock is turning like one way, and the platform is turning counter to that. So
it's really cool.
Go back and watch it. It was really
the
cool.
turn mechanism was amazing, and I I didn't quite get the shamrock, I guess because of the rainbows. Maybe they were saying pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yes, I think so.
Well, they've got archery and art stuff here.
There's the scavenger hunt element to the aspect. It's everything. But yeah, there's stables.
Mm-hmm. For the
and you
unicorn.
can riding on a unicorn. And the unicorn would go kind of back and forth. So.
Yeah, Glenn was mentioning that he remembers seeing the mallet in season 1, but I don't recall seeing it since.
Yeah, it's disappeared.
They're there. We use them.
I do
why they're not showing them in the show, I don't know. Yeah,
well, some people tune in for different reasons. I guess not enough people were tuning in for the mallet, so they.
I guess not. They're like, cut the mallet.
It's mallet masters.
Yeah,
mallet masters. That's funny.
Yeah, and here's just magnifying glass and some other things. And they did have camp elements, like Stacey said. Legend. They're like, we put it in there.
It's there.
It's there.
It's just not in a forest. It was very strange.
So Debo thinks that they covered all of the marshmallows in Lucky Charms.
It's also a possibility. But yeah, they didn't show too much of the build, so you can kind of see there's the zip line area, and this is like a picnic area, and then the stable and the camp area. But they didn't spend a ton of time on it, which is just what happens sometimes with certain builds. But
if they truly were going fantastical though and out of the box, then I would agree Nick and Stacey really captured that.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminded me of Lego Masters New Zealand when they did the archipelago with all of the different destination islands. One group did a duck, and all the other ones did buildings and landscapes, and they ended up winning. So it all goes back to understanding what the judges want, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful looking build with great mechanics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the hardest part is understanding what the judges want, because they can be very vague sometimes, and then halfway through a challenge, they're like, actually, this isn't what we meant, and you're kind of missing the mark. So pivot, or you're going home.
Right.
But, hashtag end results. Great job, Nick and Stacey.
Great job.
Yeah, and Shock the Toast does make a good point that there's a lot more camp elements in here than you could really see on the episode as far as what they highlighted.
That's why we do this. We like to slow it down and just go over all the details.
Take a magnifying
That's
glass
what we're here
to
for.
We're bringing this service to you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's right.
But anyway, here's David Emily's Ooze. This was also another just very to the moon idea. Like,
I felt this was so bizarre when they were saying, we're going to go with ooze. It's like, okay. Yeah, exactly. That was kind of my reaction. Like, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go through the gates
turned out
here.
great, though. I mean, it's definitely
beautiful.
A camp.
And
this was
thank goodness for those translucent chains. Otherwise, that wouldn't have been pulled off as well.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been oozed out of the
those had always been there, right? They didn't just add that for this challenge, or did they keep the brick pit pretty much the same?
There was a little section behind the brick pit, like in the judge room where these tables were, tucked in a corner. There would be like a roller cart with like extra parts, like and sometimes special elements, like roller coasters track, extra plates, extra Technic brick frames, and then every now and then for the dinosaur, they had a bunch of dinosaurs in there. And I think. Trying to think if they added anything special for this challenge in that little cart of parts.
But they wouldn't go out of their way between challenges to be like, oh, we're going to put these in the brick pit now. And no.
I thought I heard from one of the contestants that some challenges you'd see more curved plates and others you wouldn't. And I was wondering if, for example, the dog challenge, if you had more curves in that because you were doing sculptures, or was the brick pit pretty much the same the whole time?
From my memory, the brick pit was the same for the most part the whole time.
Okay.
It's hard. It's hard to recall because
I'm just,
it was forever ago.
It's
At
a
this point.
blur.
It's
I'm
a
just
blur.
wondering if they had like if
Another
this,
lifetime.
this is one of those pieces like the chain is like something like, oh, that's a neat piece. I don't have a use for it. I'm just going to set it aside. And then like a month later, it's like, oh, wow, that would be the perfect piece for this. And I wonder if they had just clocked that piece for later. But that's cool that it's mostly the same. Here it is in the animated city. And
The tall
these are
trees really make it stand out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the aliens. I love the aliens.
these are the counselors at Camp Ooze. And these trees would pour the ooze out of these branches here.
Which I love those trees. Just water on myself. I love those trees. I think they look fantastic.
Yeah.
It's also a great like the trees on the ground and like these trees up here they complement each other really well.
Yeah. It's a fun idea. I like it.
Yeah, they're there. So yeah, this is a splashing ooze and
blue fire.
I think we have Nickelodeon to thank for this.
Yeah, it's giving Nickelodeon.
It's definitely with the green. I mean, yeah. And I think people saw the pun earlier, right? From Shock the Toast.
We see you, Shock the Toast.
Ooze and ahs, yeah. I like
they
the
wanted
puns.
more ooze and ahs out of this.
Shock the Toast needs to come to my stream sometime. I love this guy. He's great.
Shock the Toast,
really giving us
Glenn,
100% here.
Debo, they're all like pun masters.
But here's our lake of ooze that would kind of go up and down like they showed in the Lego Learn section. I guess that's all we have. This is another build that they didn't spend a lot of time on, unfortunately.
Sadly they didn't.
But it did look pretty cool. I guess I have like one more wide shot of it. Yeah, there's Camp Ooze.
Yeah, that's the
Camp
beauty
Ooze.
shot there.
Yeah.
I would go to this camp.
I don't know if I would go to this camp.
I don't think I would, considering that there's no human adults. It's all aliens, and you don't know what they're doing at night. It's all the sorts of experiments.
I want to know where's
it's going to be a serve man situation.
From previous campers, maybe?
Is the ooze friendly towards human skin? Does it need radiation? Is it going to give me a disease?
And you know that the ooze is like not locally sourced either.
It's not locally sourced. They imported these trees from another dimension. Who knows what they're doing?
Oh man,
is it affecting the brain waves?
Camp Booze next to Camp Ooze.
Well, yeah, maybe the
story.
first incarnation was Camp Booze, and they were like, no, you
they
can't
lost
do that.
the B.
Anyway, good job, David and Emily.
Now we have another question: is the ooze sentient?
Is the ooze alive? Is it taking over the minds of the children?
It could be.
Are they becoming sleeper agents?
The counselors are all wearing life preservers, so they know that there's some level of safety.
I think the life preserver is supposed to be a part of them. I don't think it's a life preserver in the sense of us. I think that might be their mouth. And
their mouth, or maybe a skirt or something.
That's fair. All great questions that we can put on the list if we ever get them on the show.
I think that it would be funny to ask, because when you go to a convention, there's always a Camp Booze. So I'm wondering if Camp Ooze kind of evolved from that. You might be onto something, Glenn. And then there's GMOs, genetically modifying ooze.
Is it natural ooze? Is it enhanced ooze?
Yeah.
Is it gluten free?
I tell you, the Shock, you're on a roll today.
raises more questions there, but
So many questions.
so many. We'll come up to them at the next convention and be like, so we have questions about that ooze. And they'll be like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you... We did what?
They'll be looking at us like, next in line.
Yeah, I don't remember this. Anyway, last but not least is Brendan and Greg's Wild Willie's Airborne Wonder Camp. Another camp that was just
Very out there.
Yeah,
very out there.
Mm-hmm.
I love Brendan and Greg. We love them a lot. They're like our older brothers. But this idea, I couldn't get on board with it.
If I was a whale, I would love this camp.
Yeah,
Right.
if I was a whale, I
This
love this
wasn't
camp. But
geared towards you, Dom, right? This was geared towards
it was geared towards whales.
yes. For the folks at home, it was if whales, they once in their life when they're young, they get to know what it's like to fly. So this is the camp that teaches whales to fly.
My pet whale loved this month.
And whales don't get to congregate with other whales often.
Yeah.
They usually stay within a pod, right?
Well, Ethan, I would say my pet whale was incredibly offended and mocked by this bill because this does not exist, and it's like a slap in the face towards the whales because there are whales that would love for this to be real, but the fact that it isn't is just so disrespectful and very insensitive.
They don't all get the same opportunity.
No, they don't, and it's really just it's not
It
fair.
wasn't politically whale correct.
It's not PC.
You're probably right.
Nope.
And then Debo wants to know if this would have been better with pigs instead of whales.
Flying pigs.
Did they have pigs? Like they had some animals in the brick pit, right? Did they
They
have
have a monkey
pigs?
callback.
I'm trying to
for,
remember if they did
monkeys
have
who could
pigs.
fly.
I don't think they did. They
Nothing
didn't have a
too
lot
big.
of nothing. Like they didn't have horses. Nothing bigger than like parrots or crabs
Oh,
or like so
interesting.
very little animals that had like one stud connections.
Mhm.
Anything bigger, they wanted us. You have to brick build it.
Yeah,
But they had dogs and cats, so that was nice.
Mhm.
that, and then they also had the dinosaurs for the dinosaur episode. Right?
And I've seen a couple of chameleons in these builds. in this
Yes, they
challenge,
did have
so-
chameleons.
It's
We
fun.
love the chameleons. I think we.
But
used
yeah,
to
this is where the whale is like loaded onto this cart
Mhm.
here.
And that's okay because all's whale that ends well.
The whale is launched into this pool of water.
There's a
Look at
frog.
that. I need,
There's a frog.
Brendan and Greg need a shirt of that. Just a flying whale.
There's
Just
a flying
as a
whale.
shirt.
Yeah, that would be a good shirt.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
we'll
you
do
Put it
that
in
soon,
Wandering
too.
Skies.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about wardrobe in a little bit. Because we've
The
heard
whales,
about
enjoying
Brendan
the
and
campfire.
Greg's wardrobe too. Yep,
Yeah.
whales roasting near an open fire. There's just something wrong with
Simultaneously getting sprayed with water so they don't overheat and die.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Well,
Fantastic.
This is
that.
how you know
all
that
know where the ooze came from now. It's from the whales that are
Yes.
roasting by the fire.
I don't want
It's whale sweat.
It's whale blubber.
It's whale blubber.
But this guy is carting the whale off to its next activity here. Definitely not getting paid enough to do this job, but this is such a fun detail.
It is. Unless the whale's sick and he's taking it to the medic.
Oh no.
We don't know the story. We'll find out in 2
We'll
weeks.
find out.
So for those of you watching, Brendan and Greg are going to be here in 2 weeks. Yeah.
One thing I will say is their mechanism with the motors is absolutely genius.
Oh my
Like,
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
We got to talk
Amazing.
about this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Brendan was working on that the entire time
Mhm.
and
Yep.
it worked. It totally pulled off. It was
Yeah.
so good. So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
they even
people-
said they needed it to
Mhm.
work because that was the only mechanism they had
Mhm.
because the other one
Yeah.
for the roller coaster ramp,
Roller coaster
they
ramp.
decided to
Yeah.
bail on that.
For the people at home,
He's
it
just
would
gonna shut this camp down.
yeah, it would spin. It spun in a circle, and then it also moved slowly down and then up, and like it was indestructible
insane.
in such a way that it couldn't jam. Like it would just go down all the way and then come back up. And
Brendan is an engineer, and he engineered the crap out of this mock. It was just, oh my gosh. And I remember he did after the challenge, I asked him, can you teach me how to build that? And he sat both of us down. He explained it very, very well, but it was still just what?
Yeah.
He explained it
I ever heard
perfectly.
Brendan talk. It was like you went
That
on
too.
autopilot.
He went on autopilot, and it was
wow.
It was great. It was great.
I mean, you can kind of see a few connections here, but there's just
kind of
no way
understand
that
it, but it's just
we
from
can't
what I
decipher it
understand
without
too,
very advanced.
going back to his engineering mind, is that going back to the rodeo challenge where they engineered it so it would actually rock with the bull. He went back and redid it apparently after the show was over. Because he said, I know this was supposed to work, but why didn't it work? So it shows you that they're just so meticulous to detail when it comes to the engineering. And hi, Maraid, the Gingers are here. She was asking about you a couple weeks ago.
The Gingers.
So
the Ginger TikTok teen Superfans.
That's right.
We go by many names. Too
How much
many
do you
names.
know about quantum physics?
But yeah, that's really, I wish maybe when they're on, we'll just talk about mechanics for the entire time. We won't even talk about the actual.
They also have
recap
the
of the
stop
show.
motion video work that they're doing with the Wandering Skies work. Yeah.
After this, I want whale camp. I want to stop motion about whale camp.
Yes. Give us whale camp.
Yes.
Right. Next to Ooze, next to Camp Ooze. They can have the whale blubber moving into Camp Ooze.
A conspiracy theory that all the Lego Master models are all one big story.
Yeah.
They're all brought
like
together.
one set of pipes underneath all the.
It's a massive mashup. That would be awesome, actually.
Well, yeah, that would be something. But anyway, this is great job, Brendan and Greg. So the top two obviously were Ethan and Dom,
Dun, dun, dun.
and Austin and Justin.
Oh, I hate my hair.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah. For those of you at home, these are the same people that we have on the program right now.
I mean, Ethan looks like himself. I am at this point almost a completely different person from when I was
because of your hair. You're right. Your hair is grown out now. But this is, I think, where the Gingers comment came up too. About light shining down on your head like that.
That was a fun shirt.
You look pretty good in that, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
so happy.
Did they make you guys wear the hoodies, or what was?
That was like.
We'll get to that later. I mean, we get to it now, but.
Well, I can tell you that Tacos and Michelle had a comment about they went to a convention and one of your castmates came up to them and said, "Why are you in costume?" And Michelle goes, "What are you talking about? These are my clothes."
They got to wear their clothes.
And I remember you made a comment, Dom, on another show about you never wear sweatshirts and that you were like sweating like crazy and they had you wear this thing.
Horrible.
And
it wasn't horrible, but it was just an inconvenience that made things worse than when they already were. Right. Because I'm constantly rolling up my sleeves. I'm doing this to get air in there, and with the studio lights, it gets really hot. Like we're talking 89 degrees with the sweaters on.
It depends on where you are in the studio too. From
that too,
we heard from Liz.
But definitely not our styles. They did not. That does not.
What you're wearing right now is not from your own wardrobe.
Yeah, I would never wear a tie-dye shirt. And
same for you, right, Ethan?
Blank hoodie over.
Well, what's interesting is that Greg and Brendan also had to wear a costume per se. And we found out from, I think it was Carrie, that he never wears pink shirts. And they put him in a pink shirt and they gave him a mohawk you know, that he never puts gel in his hair, and they gave him a mohawk. So we were talking about how him and Austin were like twins on the show because of that. But,
why are you combing my hair?
They want you to look, I guess, more like teenagers.
Yeah, at first we were the TikTok teens.
The
And then
Brick
they changed
Talkers, right?
Yeah, the Brick Talkers. Our first name, we wanted to be the Brick Influencers. And then we went from Brick Talkers, and then TikTok Teens. And now our official name is the Teen Superfans, which we are, fans of the show, but we're not like, I wouldn't classify myself as a teen superfan.
You don't have superpowers.
I don't have superpowers.
No. Okay.
Well, I think it's probably because of intellectual property.
Yeah.
With
That's probably why.
Yeah.
But
well, you carried it well, even though it's not your style. You carried the style well.
We managed to snag. We managed. Oh, there's my reaction.
I like that photo.
Yeah.
That's a great photo. We have just like Austin's like, yes, and then Justin's just like, damn, so close.
Yeah.
And then Ethan's excited, and I'm just floored out of my mind. I was so livid and so happy because I put my heart and soul into this build with this idea. And come up with the stories and all like the colors and the color theory. We put so much time in this build, and for it to pay off was just like the best feeling ever. Yeah. And the fact that we knew we were getting something for this win was awesome. But I love this photo.
I like that.
This is a great photo. And there's when you walk down onto the platform when they called your name, you did the, I'm going to pump you up kind of pose.
I
was hyped. I was still hyped. I still get hyped.
I was expecting you to bang your chest.
I was
the right amount of hype. That's what you want to see.
I was hyped.
But yeah, you guys, you did awesome. You definitely deserved it.
It was a genuine reaction, which was great to see. And we're very proud of you both.
And of course, here's Will with the door number 1 and door number 2.
This is the first twist.
And you
twist number 1,
decided
folks.
To
for those of you who haven't seen the show, because I know some of you said you were catching up. So Glenn, did you watch it last night? I know we talked about this last night. And I don't know, Mairead, if you're up to date, but here's the first twist. One of the boxes has 90,000 bricks in it, or a coupon for 90,000 bricks, and the other one has the gold brick. Which one is it? And do a close-up of Ethan's face right now. Look at that. Look at the look.
Oh my god. It's like,
I mean, no, it's just like, were you still surprised? Like, were you expecting something else to be in there? Like,
they wanted big reactions, so that's what I gave them.
We really wanted the 90K bricks because there was a strategy involved, but we got the 90K bricks, and I had my Oprah moment, and it was awesome.
Yeah, your Oprah moment was classic.
Yeah, thank you.
The looks on your castmates was like, "What's he doing?"
I was hyped. I was so happy.
At me.
It's great. I threw some in the air. I was just so hyped.
Yeah, I couldn't get a good shot of that, but I love that. Like, you get bricks and you get bricks.
Man. Dots.
I can make any art piece I want.
It might be able to cover my wall.
Yeah, there they are.
Yeah, this is great.
There's the bricks.
This is almost meme worthy, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if people take this photo and say, caption
I was
this
close of just pouring the bricks on us as if like we won the Super Bowl and they do like the Gatorade. I wanted to do it so bad. I was like, I'm gonna clean this up, and I'm not gonna be that guy. But man, maybe when we get our bricks, I'll just dump my phone.
There you go.
That would have been a classic moment, though. The Gatorade moment, if you had done that. You get a brick, and you get a brick.
You get a brick.
Yes.
Anyway, Brendan and Greg, got the golden brick.
Got the golden brick.
You guys chose them because there was something involving sushi. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That was like,
that they buttered us up.
We were very close with Brendan and Greg. And we would watch movies, and they bought us sushi one time, which is
Right.
really, it was good sushi. It was like the
Good
best.
sushi.
It was the best sushi in Georgia, I think.
So good.
And when
Now-
I believe Amy say, so why did y'all pick Brandon and Greg? And I just sit there and say, they bought us sushi.
Yeah. But
And
in
luckily
reality, I had a plan. I had a strategy because we were like 99% sure they were going to get sent home because the judges absolutely hated their build.
Yep.
They did not like it. They didn't like the story. They didn't like anything of it. So I was like, well, one thing that doesn't get mentioned is that the golden brick doesn't come into play till next episode. So if someone got eliminated and they were given the golden brick, then they get eliminated with the golden brick, and then it's out of play.
Mm-hmm.
So that we get to keep our 90k bricks. The golden brick's gone. It's a win-win. But
Right.
no one. Spoiler alert.
And
twist.
that is twist number 2.
Twist number 2.
Oh, well, no, they didn't.
one-
Hang on. So the bottom 2 teams were actually,
Brendan and Greg and
Brandon and Greg
Stacey.
and Nick and Stacy. And here you can see that unfortunately, Brandon and Greg. Here you can see that they did go home. They're devastated here. Nick and Stacy are happy because they didn't. They got to stay.
They got
But
to stay.
Brandon and Greg are just devastated.
So for those
But
of
no,
you who
nobody
missed
went home
it,
this episode.
No one at home. That's the
nobody
twist.
went home this
Surprise.
episode. And the looks on your faces, Dawn.
So
that
here's
was
the
out,
thing.
that was out of
We're like-
context.
That was out of
What?
context.
Yeah, if you
'Cause-
see in the clip when they say no elimination, you can see us in the background of me and
We're
Dom going,
clapping 'cause
yes,
we are
we're
happy.
clapping and all, but we're edited to be the
The bad guys.
bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another
Uh,
plan B, if they didn't get eliminated, they're such a good team, they wouldn't
Right.
need the golden brick to begin with. So
Yeah.
then we're giving it to a team that's very strong already, rather than a team that's
Yeah, they probably won't need to use it.
yeah.
One wouldn't think. They probably won't build a second whale carnival.
You
Yeah,
never
I
know,
think after
though.
this challenge they learned their lesson.
Yeah, possibly. But also, I mean, some of their amazing builds, like the Brontosaurus build from the dinosaur episode, I thought that one should have been up there,
Mhm.
but they didn't even place in that.
Yeah, one fun
Mhm.
thing was, me and Dom were kind of in the background of the whole thing. So I remember we were walking and we saw that build half complete, and we're like, "Whoa, that thing
Yeah.
looks awesome!" It stood out.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of their sculpting ability, and I remember when Remy and I were talking about this. We pick first, second, and third place because we kind of model it like the Olympics.
Yeah, we've been doing a running medal count.
We've been doing, like,
USA.
medal
And
counts.
I mean that makes sense. That makes sense.
So
That's cool.
so we haven't picked our third place though yet.
Oh yeah. All right. So I guess people in the chat, we can pick our bronze medal winner. There's Steven and Steven, the superhero camp, Emily and Liam's dragon camp,
That's a
Nick
tough
and
one.
Stacy's, Dave and Emily's build, and Brendan and Greg's build. You can pick any of those.
I would
You know.
say
Superhero
Yeah,
camp.
put it in the chat.
Superhero
Put
I
the
was
camp.
going
votes
to
in the
say
chat.
probably the superhero camp, or I don't know. I like the dragon camp though too.
Yeah,
it just the problem
it's-
is the mechanism didn't
Mhm.
work.
I'm gonna say superhero camps because I have
Well,
superhero
yeah, assume the
very close
mechanism
to my
worked
heart.
in the dragon camp.
Oh, yeah.
Just give it to them. It worked. They got it to work.
They did,
Yeah,
just
they
not in the
did.
right order.
Yeah.
I believe they worked in beauty shots, but then they reversed them.
Yeah.
So, Shock, I'm not sure the question you're asking. Do we remember what that was actually a reaction to? But it was, I think, the reaction of relief that
Yeah.
nobody was going home.
It was relief,
And-
but they look sad. So it's it's fun
But then
to play with the audience. a
during
little bit.
during the judging, we always look serious. So they could have just took that clip before they gave us
Mhm.
the good news and just reused it, which I'm pretty sure that's what they did.
They even used that clip twice in a row.
They
It
did.
It was like, really?
Really?
Because that's the total opposite of my personality too, which is kind of upsetting.
That's why we have these shows. So
Mhm.
then that way you can exhibit your real personality for
We
people.
we weren't angry, we weren't upset, we were
Mhm.
relieved and happy because no one likes going home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But it is a competition, so you gotta strategize.
But yeah, this is
Throwing
that
it out.
reaction, Shock the Toast. That's what you're. I think
I mean,
that's what
there's
you're
there's
asking. Yeah,
there's
this
a
is-
camera. There's a camera always on. It's about 3 days per episode. There's a camera always on you, and they can. You're not always not smiling that whole
Mhm.
3 days. So they takes all the clips and
God.
do whatever.
I don't
There's
know
a great
if I would,
power with editing.
Yeah. The editors do have a lot of power, but I will say they have been pretty kind to just about everybody on the season. And unlike season 1, they're where they villainized a certain person, that was just not cool. So I think maybe they got the memo. And I think too, since you're teens, I think they're also telling them, don't make them, really bad guys, right? The outlaws.
But yeah, that's the end of the episode. This shot is from the very beginning of the challenge.
Yeah, I remember that.
Also in the trailer, like 4 months ago.
Yeah, they used this clip when we were still like under wraps and we weren't announced, but they still use this clip. And like, I got a text from my friend like, dude, you're in the trailer. I was like, no, I'm not. And I was like, that's the back of my head.
Yeah. That's why Mairead was the one who said, "Oh, are the gingers on?" And we said, "Gingers? Who are you talking about?" So
like if people really looked into it, I'm sure if someone like really like went detective skills, they easily could have found out that Nico and I weren't as active on social media during the time of Lego Masters filming.
Well, I think both you and your mom posted on your Instagram account about you are taking a trip. And it's the first time you're out of town.
My mom did that, and I was like, why? Okay, whatever. Gotcha. Great.
Yeah, but she didn't say what. She just said, when he comes back, we'll be able to tell you more.
And then we couldn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, this is a fun episode. And next week is the, what is it? The mini golf challenge. So that'll be fun too. Yeah, they figured nobody would guess because you wouldn't wear those outfits.
You never wear those outfits.
Exactly. Like, that's not cool guy down right there, Arson. They don't wear that stuff.
They don't wear that stuff, no. Well,
they edited the Spider-Man 3 trailer, so they could have done a little better job on the Lego Masters trailers. But,
true.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think third place? Did we decide on the dragons?
Yeah, I guess we'll do the superheroes.
There's superheroes.
Yeah,
let's go for superheroes.
Yeah. That was a fun.
They got away with the superhero initiation training with the SIT. I think that in and of itself, to get that on TV was
great.
A
dub. That's a W. That's a win right there.
Yeah, it was a great build, and Will got exactly what he wanted. He got to be the focal point of a camp. So.
That's right, because he even asked for that. He asked for the Will Arnett Superfan camp, right? Didn't he ask for that?
So.
He did.
Shock the toast.
We had him, but then a monster accidentally got him. So,
yeah, there was a Will Arnett in our build. He's just in the tummy of the monster.
Yeah.
So, what are your next steps now? Now that I guess we have about 5 more episodes to go.
You'll just have to wait and see.
Well,
no, we didn't mean like tell us about the show. We meant like, what conventions are you guys planning on going to next year, if any? Like that kind of thing.
Definitely Brick World Chicago. Definitely Brick Fair Virginia. I'd like to do BrickCon Seattle next year. Maybe BrickCan. There's one Atlanta BrickCon in February.
Yeah,
I have to look into.
Is that just a weekend, or is it like a whole?
I think it's just a weekend. I'm pretty sure it's like there's the setup on Friday, and then there's the Saturday, Sunday, and then it's over. Which I'm really into like the private days and stuff like that. So that's kind of like, we have friends in Georgia, so I'm sure we can go there sooner and hang with them. But we'll see. I'm trying to think about other conventions. Brick Rodeo, because I gotta come back to Texas.
Yeah.
We're gonna be there.
That'll be super cool.
Remy will definitely be there, but I'm working to get there.
That'll be so cool because Brick Rodeo. That's my main convention.
Yeah, and Glenn is there too. So there's just a lot of really cool people who go to Brick Rodeo.
Cool.
And for me, Brick Rodeo, Brick World Chicago is something I would love to go to. Will I be able to? I don't know, but I hope so. Same with Atlanta BrickCon. I want to go to that one as well. But yeah, I would like to go to at least 3 or 4. But we'll see. It's hard to I go one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's fair.
What about mocks? Any cool mocks you're working on?
So,
I need
guess
to
I could-
sort. I need to sort my bricks.
You need to
'cause
sort your
bricks.
I need to
Your
sort my bricks.
There's a whole lug for
45,000
that.
bricks that you
Yeah,
have to
I
sort,
need
right?
to. I like to sort my bricks beforehand in like preparation.
Uh-huh.
But Ethan looks like he's got something.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
what do we got? What's
Yeah.
going on here?
So this is a work in progress. I like to do a series on my TikTok where I kind of build a mock based off of mystery, like a CMF pack. And I plan to have this. The whole idea is to have like an imagination, kind of similar vibe to our treehouse mock on Lego Masters. But I have this figure, and I'll create a little room in the bottom, but kind of have like a little thought bubble. And this is like the whole.
This is a thought bubble.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's the whole
like
idea.
Cool.
Oh, that is cool.
They'll have a room and they'll have a few more clouds to kind of create a thought bubble where this girl is living her imagination.
Oh, nice.
And that's what it's looking like
Oh,
on the
wow.
inside, which is really cool. You can even
great
see a little castle in the background too.
Yeah,
which
you
is
get
really
the
cool.
forced perspective too.
Mhm.
What's the red thing in the background?
That's an explosion. I was like,
Oh, okay.
Make something
Explosion.
dramatic. Jumping
It's
over
the
a log.
Bruckheimer shot.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's one thing. Let's see. Oh, I guess I can show this. This is my dog. From
Steel. Oh
Steel.
my gosh! I remember
That's
watching
right.
that
I
video. And I
saw
was
that
like,
you put that on TikTok
God.
too.
Yeah.
I
laughed
spent an
so
hour
hard.
building with Lego.
Mhm.
I like how you break things down too.
That's
That is-
my goal is to just teach someone. If I can help someone learn. I guess chase their dreams, but also learn a little bit about Lego and kind of. This is also a microphone that I made. That V is really difficult. But I was really happy with how that turned out. And I was just playing around with tires, and I was like,
The
hey, that
tires,
kind of.
the inside-out tires is a game changer.
Yeah,
That
as
is
soon as we get
cool.
off here, I'm gonna go turn all my tires inside out. and see what
Yeah,
happens.
exactly.
You can
Ethan,
see.
tell us about your Halloween costumes here.
Oh yeah. If you guys know Beyond the Brick, I bought a red colored shirt and had their little sticker, and I was
With the microphone.
Impersonating
Yeah.
him?
Mhm.
So are you? I guess you're going to be Joshua.
I legit thought he
Joshua
joined
Hamlin?
Beyond the Brick. At
That's
first. I
hilarious.
was like, did he get partnered with Beyond the Brick? I was like,
Maybe one day.
You
But one thing
probably
that's-
will be invited to be on there if you haven't already.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
I can't imagine them not inviting you.
at,
I did ask Joshua while I was at BrickCon if they've ever been interviewed by anybody. And so he said he would come on the show. So
That's
I'm
really cool.
holding you to it, Joshua, if you're listening. Yeah.
and post more TikToks.
I actually post quite a bit, honestly.
They did. They do. They do.
I've been posting more since I've started chatting with you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm now kind of branching into, in fact, it was just today I posted a short that I haven't posted in a long time, and it already got like more views than my regular shows.
Yep.
So maybe I'm going to have to take clips of this and post it.
Yeah,
up
that's
too.
honestly
Wow,
a great thing to
are
do.
you that hungry? Like you can't wait to get off the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
The audacity. Where does this kid come off? I swear.
There's so many
Come on.
chemicals in this burger. It has more chemicals than McDonald's. It will last forever.
Ethan, I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I think the McDonald's burger still has more chemicals than a Lego burger.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, pound for pound.
Oh, I forgot about this one. This is since we missed episode 1, I wanted to build a spaceship about what me and Dom are. We're both content creators, so I made a spaceship that's happens to be a camera, and inside you have my little room as well. But
Oh, that's
I
cute.
feel like we would have built something similar
Probably.
to this.
Yeah.
If we
Where
were
does
in
the
first
lens
episode.
piece come from?
It's actually a Star Wars set. It's the Hellfire droid. Also,
Oh.
Dom's
Oh.
inside.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's
A
awesome.
little
Thanks,
Easter
dude.
egg is Dom.
It's my-
How
it's my
cool is
favorite.
that? And there is
Yeah,
a
that's-
comment in the chat that you should hear, Ethan, is that if you take the inside out tires and return them to their original forms, are you retiring?
Probably.
Yes,
if
he
you
is.
see a build that just has regular tires, like the bottom, there's inside out tires right there. I didn't need to put them inside out, but I wanted to just to say I put them inside
That's
out.
your thing now. That is
He
like
loves his
the
tires.
Ethan the artisan
Mhm.
move. I
Yeah.
think it's like anybody who puts their tires inside out now.
Like
what he
99% of my builds have inside out tires. Like
Really?
the robot has them. Even my chicken nugget family.
Even the chicken nugget.
The hat is an inside out tire.
The chicken nugget family.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
the
that's-
singing chicken nugget family.
Yeah, they sing.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Also, did a little mini build of our
Oh,
pirate
that's your
ship.
pirate ship. Yes.
Mhm.
I find your lack of monkeys disturbing.
I have like.
Oh, are those?
The
Right
lack of
there.
monkeys.
Oh, those are.
I went with a very small scale with this one. I was like, I don't have time. I
It's
got
a micro scale, yeah.
I use
No.
Lego rubber bands to.
Yeah,
put
that's a
the
great use
stripes.
of rubber bands and the pick-a-brick cup.
That I mean,
Mhm.
that's Ethan.
And then we
Oh,
have-
man.
Dom here has
Yeah.
his monkey
It's the
as
monkey.
well.
This may or may not be a monkey from the monkey ship.
It definitely is not, because
It
if you
definitely
did,
is not.
that would
It's
mean
not.
that you'd be
It's not.
incriminating yourself. It
Yeah.
is a
It's not.
very
It's
nice
totally not.
replication
It's a
of it.
replication that I use my own pieces for.
That's true. Of the 45,000 that you received.
Yes.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, oh
I'm
my
just gonna,
gosh.
I'm just gonna. That's all the parts I'm gonna order. I'm just gonna order parts.
You get
I'll
a
have
whole bunch of monkeys.
Thousands of monkeys. Every
Monkeys.
convention for the rest of my life, I'll just
You
be
just
monkeys.
like leave them by other
Actually-
people's
Monkey.
builds.
You should be doing that for other
I'm going to be
people's
doing that.
Yeah,
All right,
either
you can
that or
warn people.
stickers or
These monkeys
sticker
are my
emojis.
signature build now at this point. It's
I think so. That's awesome.
monkeys. I need to make a tutorial video of like how to build the monkeys.
Wow. Well, oh my gosh, this has been so
been
much
a-
fun,
it's
and
been
I
a-
can't
it's been a
believe it's
blast.
already an hour and 36 minutes have already passed. This has been great. It's
What a
been so
great
great
show.
having you on the show.
Thank you for having us. This was a delight.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
I'm
Thank
so
you,
glad
guys.
you enjoyed it, and you're always welcome to come back. And as you can
Thank
see,
you.
our chat is pretty funny.
They're great. Great chat.
They're half of the entertainment is them.
They are. They're great.
Thank you, Glenn, Chuck the Toast, and Debo was here earlier, as well as Maraid.
Oh.
Anybody who's been in the chat, or if you're watching later, thank you so much
Yeah.
for being a part of this stream. And
Mhm.
don't forget to like the stream.
Like the stream.
Like and subscribe to the stream.
We're-
right? This
we're
is also
constantly-
Ethan's signature move, right? The double thumbs up, right? So make sure you
Constantly.
do that.
Because
You're listening to the Brickanista Broadcast Network. And also, don't forget to follow Ethan.the.artisan on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, he has a show on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock with the Stud Buds. Lots of fun. I've listened to a couple of your shows, and it's always great to see you have so much fun with your friends. And don't forget to follow Cool Guy Dom 02 on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And also, of course, not to forget Brick Literacy on Instagram as well.
and now you can follow me on TikTok as of 2 hours ago.
Seriously,
Oh.
you just signed up?
Yay,
See?
let's go.
Yeah.
These are teen
Start.
superfan influencers.
Will there be content?
Will there be content?
There may not.
We'll make sure that there is.
Okay.
There
We'll
will
make
be at
sure
least
that
one
happens.
video
Yeah, all
of
right.
inverted tires from you.
Absolutely.
Make
that
it
tends
so.
to work.
Inverted tire ASMR. All right.
The inverted tire. Oh, we're gonna have to make that a thing, I think.
I'll probably just build a tree on there or something.
Sure, you can build a tree. That sounds great. Well, thanks again, everybody. You've been awesome. So great to see you all. And stick around too after the stream is over so we can chat a little bit more. But I just want to say thanks, everybody. And as they say on the Brickanista Broadcast Network, take care and may the clutch be with you. Take
May the
care.
clutch be with you. I love
See
that.
ya. Bye.